It was such a good session, you guys. Oh my God, for those of you who are tuning in right now, welcome to the SME Digital Summit 2020. If you thought that session was amazing, go ahead, take a screenshot of our little selfie just now, and don't forget to post it on our social media. Give us a shout out. Don't forget to use our hashtags 100GoDigital and SME Digital Summit. Don't forget to post it on your Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and follow us on Facebook for more events and knowledge. Okay, we're just going to jump right into our next panel discussion. As you can see, some of our panelists and moderators are already here on screen with us. Now we're going to be talking about an integrated online to offline retail strategy. Now the retail world is taking an innovative turn, and additionally, the growing mobile internet users have boosted rapid development of mobile platform applications. Online to offline commerce is a business strategy designed to bring online customers to brick and mortar stores. Now, as you can see, our moderator is already on screen. He is the founder of Zepti.com. Hi, Adrian.
Hi, Lauren. Can everyone hear me clear?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you doing today?
Yeah, cool. Great. Look forward to this session hosting Mr. Song, Mr. Chen, Chow, and of course, Boss Lim from Senheng. All right.
Well, you basically did my job for me. I was supposed to introduce them, but that's okay. We'll go right over it.
I just have to mention their name, but the intro will be yours. Okay.
All right, fantastic. Now, our panelists also include the director of eCommerce of MDEC, Mr. Song Hock Koon. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for being a part of our event. We're so happy to have you here.
Happy to be here as well. Yeah.
All right. So you guys have like the last panel discussion before lunch, and I'm sure people are going to be hungry. So we hope to have you guys pump them up. Okay. We also have the managing director of Senheng Electric KL, Senheng, Mr. Lim Kim Heng.
Hi.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes. You're looking good. I saw you tuned in very early today. It's so nice to have you stay on with us.
I learned.
Fantastic. Now, I know Eng Hong was supposed to be joining us today, but unfortunately, he's not feeling very well. So instead, we have our one and only co-founder of Fave, our personal favorite, Chen Chow. Hi, Chen Chow.
Hi. Thanks a lot. Yeah, great to see you.
Nice to see you again. So just now we had an all-girls group, and this time it's all guys. So this time it's guy power. So for those of you who are tuning in right now, if you're into guy power, let's give them a hashtag guy power and a round of applause. Whenever you're ready, Adrian, take it away.
Yeah, I think we are 10 minutes late. We should start right away.
Yeah, no problem.
First of all, thanks MDEC for inviting me as a moderator for this panel session. You know, I've been always very passionate about retail, e-commerce, and today I'm very excited to be able to host, you know, Mr. Song, Chen Chow, and also Mr. Lim, right, on this, I think, very exciting and very relevant topic of O2O, especially, you know, because of the COVID-19 outbreak. Then we have this MCO. This will probably become, right, even more important than ever, right? So without further ado, I would like to, you know, start with Mr. Song first, right? Basically, this question is for all the panelists. You know, Mr. Song, what is your own interpretation, right, of O2O? You know, a lot of people say, you know, offline to online, some say online to offline, right? And there are some terms actually coined by Jack Ma called new retail, right? And how would O2O look like, I mean, for you guys, right, in the next 5 years? And the most importantly, I think, do you think that Malaysian business will be ready for it? Right, Mr. Song, to you.
I think to many people, O2O means different thing. For the one who's just starting to go into online, for them it's like from offline going to online. But if you go to the more advanced country, like advanced in the sense of e-commerce, like in China, the O2O, the true sense of O2O is the seamless experience that you're gonna experience from online to offline or offline to online, and it's going to be blur and seamless. So how do you use technology and out there to enhance the customer experience that seamlessly from offline to online? So yeah, to answer to your question, to many people is different, but I think to most Malaysian in this case is the first step towards getting from offline to online. But yeah, to other country and more advanced, then I think a different you know, meaning. But regardless,
do you think Malaysia business is ready for it? How will it look like in the next 5 years?
I think it's whether we are ready for it or not is not a question. We have no choice. We have to move forward. So as the last panel sessions talk about no choice, right? So because of COVID, we are moving forward and we are being pushed forward. The 5 years plan become a 5-day plans, so we have no choice but to move forward with this. So whether we're ready or not, you have to start the journey. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Pass it on to you, Mr. Lim. What do you think? About how do you actually define, right, this O2O yourself, right? Because I believe you run the largest electrical appliances stores, right, in Malaysia, and you are actually doing it. I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. Basically, Senheng's launched a seamless business model. So to us, O2O means you place your order online and you can pick it up from any offline store. So another way to explain maybe is talk about e-voucher. We push the vouchers to online and channel them to online to use it. So Jack Ma's definitions of new retailers is online, plus offline, plus logistic, plus big data. That's the definitions from Jack Ma. I believe all SME in Malaysia will have to transform and live with O2O in 5 years. It's a new normal.
So there's no choice, just like what Mr. Song said, right? 5 years plan become 5 days plan.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So, okay, Chen Chow, pass on to you. What do you think?
Hi.
How do you define O2O? Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I think Mr. Song and Mr. Lim have given a great definition on that. So I think maybe I will take it from a slightly different way, right? I think from all consumer or even all businesses, right? I think in the end, what matters is how to make it easier, cheaper, better, faster. So whether online, offline, right? I think in the end, as we connect that two dots, in the end is which part and which way, let's say we have at the disposal both online and offline. How to make it easier, faster, cheaper, better to get our transaction through, right? Let's say right now I want to buy electronics from Senheng. What's the easiest way for me to get from where I am and get it through, right? So I think that to me would be where it is. And I think as it go through, I think the human behavior is not going to change. We're not going to say I want it slower and I'm going to want it more expensive, right? So I think in the end is as we keep on moving to that direction, I think you go in. And I think this COVID get us all prepared, whether Malaysia, even the world, right? Within a few days, I think it was announced and the whole world changed. And I think we all adapt. And we know that standing out from this COVID, we know that we are all adaptable. And I think we just need to keep that spirit on and at all time doing that.
Okay. So, Mr. This question, right, is for you, right? As mentioned, I noticed, right, there's actually a few larger size retailers, Senheng one of it, I think Uniqlo and also Watsons, right? There are some of the actually enterprises and brand, right, that is implementing the O2O actually in their retail operation and in their e-commerce operation now. Mr. Lim, I would like to know from you, right, how is Senheng currently implementing the O2O? Can you share with the audience more details on this part?
Great. Let me share a few case studies. First is shop online and pick up offline. So
shop online, pick up offline. Okay.
We allow customers to choose whichever locations across nationwide anywhere. Once our automations is ready, we are going to offer 10 minutes, for you to pick it up. So I think that will be the first in Malaysia.
Can I actually do it now? If I buy from your Senheng.com, 10 minutes I can pick up from your store?
Now we process my batches because of the system's not ready. So we process 3 times a day. So maybe within 8 hours, our people will alert you. Your things ready, please come and collect. So by end of the year, 10 minutes.
By end of the year, I hold you to that.
Yeah. So the next O2O is about pay a deposit and then process. We used to sell high ticket items like smartphone or big refrigerators. So most of the Malaysian, they prefer multiple payment modes. But online for us is a bit difficult. A lot of banks are not ready for easy payment scheme or some sort like that.
Right.
Or using a reward points to offset as good as cash. So they pay a deposit. Then they walk to our store, and process the payment, and then they pick up their things or they arrange for delivery. So that is the second case of O2O. My third case will be, we push e-voucher. We push e-voucher through Senheng apps, and we ask them to spend offline. So the latest event we organized 2 months ago, 64,000 of voucher was spent from getting from online and then spend offline 64,000 copies. That's contributed 87 million of our business. That's just huge.
Yep, it is.
Good story.
So you just mentioned, you just mentioned 3 ways, right, that you have implemented O2O, right? Okay, this question I want to, direct to Mr. Song already. Mr. Song, as you can see, right, Senheng being the largest electrical appliances store in Malaysia, of course, they have the resources and the financial muscle to do all this, right? So I would like to know from Mr. Song, I mean, in this case, right, if I'm an SME, I have much less resources than Mr. Lim. What kind of various initiative, by MDEC now, right, that would help me as an SME in adopting e-commerce or O2O? And also, can you elaborate more on the latest like Penjana Micro and SME e-commerce campaign, or some of the latest initiative that MDEC do one that can help me as an SME to adopt O2O?
Yeah. Before I go into answering that questions, but I want to go a little bit about what Mr. Lim have just mentioned just now.
Sure.
Senheng, this is the way of Senheng implemented the O2O, but different industry will be very different. So you yourself have to understand what works for you. So you have to keep on trying. And I was listening to the last panelist, they also mentions about pivoting, and you keep on have to try. So the government can have a lot of programs to help you, but you yourself must try and keep on trying. So you see my background here, this Penjana thing. So this is the latest thing, the what you call initiative, the government come out and to help the micro and the SMEs. But before we have this Penjana, MDEC has always have a lot of initiative. For example, our e-Usahawan initiative to help the micro to come on board, to be discovered. But your first has to be discovered on internet, then to trade on internet, probably social commerce. Then we have programs like Pedas, who is specially so we have Pedas program that is what you call target to the rural e-commerce. So we have others like what you call the cross-border e-commerce. And some of you may have heard about our DFTZ, that is a cross-border e-commerce initiative. And all this is actually also, supported by our Go e-commerce platform, which is the online, what you call one-stop center to support the ecosystem. So, and then this Penjana programs, COVID have done a lot of damage to the industry, but in the lens of e-commerce, somehow it is in the sense it's a good thing that happened for e-commerce sector, because now everyone look at e-commerce, it's a necessity. So people are moving forward, and government want to help. In this case, we have this Penjana program. This Penjana program, there's two. One is to get more SME to come on board, and the other is to generate demand. So the first one, we call it the micro and SME e-commerce campaign. That is, we work with now, we have about more than 20 platform players to get, make it easy for the micro and the SME to adopt e-commerce. And we have programs like, for example, to help the, what you call it, the micro and SME to, for seller, what you call it, training. And we have in the incentive for coupons and deliveries and all that. So a whole lot of them. And then to ensure that there is demand, we have this Buy a Shop Malaysia online campaign, which is just started 1st of August. More than 1 million consumers already claimed their vouchers. So it's very exciting. It's going to go on until end of September. So these are the two campaigns, what you call that, that is that the government is doing. So log on to our website, Go eCommerce /Penjana, and you can see more information from there. So these are the initiatives that we have.
So all the details they'll be able to find on go-ecommerce.my/Penjana, right?
Yeah.
Okay, make sure you all check it out, right? For the SME aspire to actually go online. So Chen Chow, now is your turn. I understand that Fave, right, has participated in this e-cashback program supported by Panjana and MDEC as well. And I was checking your website. You mentioned that they can claim up to 10,000 worth of marketing funding out of this program. Can you share with the audience, right, a bit more about this program? And yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Adrian. Yeah, so I think as what I think Mr. Song mentioned just now, I think on the Panjana initiative that MDEC and MOF are doing it, and I think that there are 20 over platforms, including Fave. I think you can see Fave logo behind Mr. Song's background as well.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so
on my phone as well. Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, so basically, I think there's two parts, right? So I think one is on the micro SME. So micro SME basically are for businesses that are 20 million ringgit revenue or below. I think for service sector, I think manufacturing is slightly different. But basically for those micro SME, basically we will be with this initiative, Panjana and Fave, we are both co-funding this, and we will basically be providing co-funding subsidy. So basically, example, a merchant that is running a Fave Pay, all right? So the merchant gave a cashback of 10%. So this initiative with Panjana, MDEC, and Fave will be co-funding 10%. So basically, that will create a 10% e-cashback and 10% merchant cashback. So that 10% you can use back at the shop, 10% you can then use it to buy it online, right? And which online will mean Fave deals or Fave e-cards. So I think that's where the initiative to drive people to come back online and get through the benefit. And I think that we have seen a lot of users benefiting from it. So I think that's one aspect. And I think the second one is the shop online. So basically there are various initiatives, whether for first-time users, maybe people to get more repetitive, for people to buy different aspects and whatnot. So I think basically the concept is basically called matching. So I think matching fund to grant to support it, and I think that's sort of where we are. And I think that together, because today we serve 20,000 merchants in Malaysia, so I think this in a way flow through that offerings to 20,000 businesses in the country.
20,000, right? Your merchant base currently.
Malaysia, yes.
Just Malaysia only, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. So, Chen Chow, for these programs, right, if they want to find out more, they should check out. Is there any URL for them? Probably you can share with them, right, on the chat there, right? So they can find out more about this.
Yeah, favebeats.com/Panjana.
Yeah. So, Mr. Lim, I love to find out from you because since you are the only guy here that actually sell products, okay? And I'm very, very curious. You know, you have been a giant in the offline world, the retail world, and now you have been venturing, I think, since when you actually started e-commerce on Senheng?
15 years ago.
15 years ago. Wow. That's like back in 2005, right?
Yes.
So I'm very curious. First of all, right, the products you actually are selling offline now, is it the same available online? Means how many SKU? Let's say 3,000 you're selling offline. Are all the SKU available online? That's the first question. And actually, how many % of your revenue are derived from online now? You know, and then you talk about just now your case study, which you mentioned the first step for O2O that Senheng implemented will be the buy online, pick up offline. And in US, right, they have this term called BOPIS, buy online and pick up in store. And how many % of your customers actually do this now also?
Yes. Since Senheng launched seamless business models from 2017. So seamless means, you know, online, offline must carry the same SKU. So our products are all from offline. We sync it up to all the online store or even the marketplace, carry all the same SKU. So as is now, or even last month, July, our online sales only 8%. So
8%?
Yes, 92% of our customers still prefer shop offline. And we talk about O2O, 30% of our customers pick up from the store. And we foresee once we launch 10 minutes pickup, I believe the ratio can reach as high as 50% by end of the year.
Boss, I can't quite understand one thing, right? I mean, why would 30%, actually quite a huge number, much higher than I anticipate? People want to buy online and actually pick up offline at your store. So is there something special in your store? You sell hot dog for 1 ringgit or whatever, just like, you know what IKEA do?
No. No.
Can you share more
some-
insights on this one? Yeah.
First is the payment mode.
Mm.
So offline have a lot of multiple payment mode, or even you can use your bank credit card reward point, to offset the amount of money you need to pay. So only offline. Second thing is, a lot of them want to join as a member, so they have to go to offline to join as a member and enjoy all the member benefit, extra 1 year warranty, right, or earn reward point. So all these have to process offline at this moment. So
Okay.
of course, and very importantly is those new gadgets. They want to learn. They want to unpack themselves, and they want to know all the features and how people are able to guide them free of charge. So that's why it's 30% of them. And also convenience, our store 24 is 7 days a week. So they can pick up at their convenient time. Most of Malaysians, they work. So they are not waiting at home. They are very worried. A phone, 4,000, 5,000 without a proper time of receiving. So they are afraid. 100 ringgit or 200 ringgit.
Yeah, the career backlog is huge. I mean,
so they prefer to work. So that's why it's 30%.
Wow. 30% is quite high, seriously.
We
but
aim
interesting
50.
point. 50. That's after
50.
year end, right?
Yeah.
So 10 minutes pick up that you can do, right?
I'll report to you by end of the year.
So you don't have to report to me, but I would love to hear the update from you, and what are the challenges as well.
Maybe I want to chip in here a little bit. You just
Mr. Song, anytime, sure.
What Mr. Lim has mentioned just now, right, is the customer experience that is count. So whether it's online, offline, how you deliver the experience, whether it's online or offline. For this, what you call, I believe all the syncing product, you sell a spectrum of products. Some product very standard product, then just what you call that, online deliver to the customer will be good enough. But some product they need to experience, they have to visualize, then they want to come to the store. So depends on the product that you offer. So then you have to tune your online offline experience to cater for your customers. So the focus is, at the end of it, is the customers. So I have seen some on what you call O2Os in China. What they do is that they really track the customers' behavior. For example, they install IoT at their clothing, and then they know from the customer pickup and all that, they know the trend, whether the customer is more towards blue color in this season, or whether their buy conversion is more for red color, or what kind of dress. So these kind of things, this is more advanced. So depends on what you strike for in terms of customer service. Then you have to tweak your O2O accordingly. There are some, for example, some O2O is like I know it's happening in, I forgot, it's Korea or in Japan. They encourage the customer to come to the store to try the makeup and all that. After that, they say that don't buy here, go to the online and buy from there. So what they want to do is to give the customer the experience, so that the customer have the trust of their product, and then later on they encourage the customers to buy online. So various ways you can do it to encourage the customer to gain the trust of buying high value products. So I think for all retailers, you just have to find your own way, what works for you. So yeah.
So Mr. Long, based on what you just say, I think first of all, you mean they have to look at the category of the product they are selling, right? And secondly, I think in order to capture the details, the customer trend, you actually need technology tools, right, to help you to capture the customer preference, right?
Yeah. But technology itself is no use. You have no what they call the real use for it. Meaning is that you don't want to have an IoT for the sake of IoT. You must know why you want to use that technologies, right? Yeah.
So back to this data thing that Mr. Song just touched on. Mr. Lim, now this question is for you as well. Senheng has a lot of data, especially when it comes to your customer purchase, and not to mention you have this +1 card. Currently, how many millions members you have now?
2.7 million.
2.7 million. Oh,
yes, no joke.
That's when it comes to business and size, right? Senheng is no joke, I'm very sure. So okay. I would love to find out, right, how does Senheng actually capture and utilize all this data? What kind of system you use? And, what kind of data is actually collected? and how do you actually massage that, you know, to enhance your business operation to achieve your revenue goal? How do you do that?
Yeah, we collected a lot of data since we launched our loyalty card at 2002.
2002.
Yeah, and all these data was used internally and externally. Let me quote you an example how we work with Facebook. We pump all our data to Facebook platform, and from there we churn out Facebook traffic that's look alike, you know, and then from there we retarget the potential customers. We don't use machine gun to shoot in a marketing concept. No, we shoot right very precisely, look alike from all the Facebook. So every dollar we spend, hopefully we get a better conversion.
Oh, so your data now, first of all, you export out, you pump into Facebook to create a Facebook custom audience first, and then you generate a look-alike.
Yes.
Then you drive back to your Senheng.
Yeah. So I think in Malaysia we are the first one, you know, to work correlation with Facebook in this manner.
Yeah, I think this part is very, very workable for a lot of merchants, right? Especially
but because millions from Facebook, millions of customers who you want to target, of course you must look alike, right? Very similar with the behavior, right, or the trend. So we work very closely.
So this part is about how you utilize the data, but how about in order to capture all this, me, if I'm an SME, I need to know what kind of tools I should use. Do you have any recommendation, or can you share a bit more about this one as well?
Yeah, actually, Senheng actually is not a retail company. We should say we are a technology company. We have a lot of tools. Let me quote you another example of tools.
Then you have to get technology valuation already like that, your company.
Yeah. Well, we developed telemarketing apps. Okay. These telemarketing apps we push 10 leads during MCO time. Our shop closed, right? 105 shop all closed. We have 1,900 employees. They cannot go to work. So we developed Senheng apps, and this Senheng app so smart. Every morning we push 10 leads to everyone, and the system able to push the leads that the particular salesman who served them the previous time. So from there, so the apps also come up with a dashboard that we know the customers, the age, the buying pattern, the brand preference, or the loyalty card expiry date, the amount of reward point. Many things is all at the same time. So this is about technology plus the database and big data, how we chunk it out. And of course, with that, you know, we even able to wish them happy birthday. So everything done at the same time with one app. So that's about technology. But behind many more.
True, but if I don't have the capability like Senheng, let's say if I'm an SME owner, I'm a very small business, I have like maybe 5-10 people only. What can I learn from you? What can I do? You know.
Yeah.
First, in your opinion,
Actually, now you know, you need electricity at home, but do you need to have a power generator? You don't need, right? No. You just need a switch on, then you have a power supply. So it's the same. Senheng's going to offer this facility, telemarketing to SME. So they just switch on, they can use. But it's not ready yet, very soon.
Year end, right?
Yeah,
same time as you launch a 10-minute. Okay. Now, back to this data thing, Chen Chow. You are one of the guys that I think your brain can process more data at one time, right? I mean, among my friends, right, than anyone else. Seriously, I want to know from you this one. So, first of all, on this data thing, right, can you share with us more, right, how Fave utilize data to help out the SME and the merchants? You know, how do you actually embed all this data thing in your application, in your tech stack, you know, to really help your merchants, right? Why your e-cashback program or your loyalty program to help them bring back their customer more? Can you share your insights on this one?
Yeah, great. Yeah, thanks a lot, Adrian. Yeah. So I think like just now we hear Mr. Lim speak about what Senheng can do, right? Of course, Senheng is at the very last scale. They got 1,900 employees, and a lot of businesses don't have that, right? So I think today what we do is we have this called Fave-based Insight, and it's provided fully free for all Fave merchants. So today, all the Fave merchants, close to 40,000 in the region, every month will get about 30 slides, automated, generated, fully machine learning, fully autonomous. So we created 1 million slides with no human being, and basically analyze the business for each
Senheng,
business.
sorry to stop you. What's the slide you mentioned actually?
Yeah, so basically imagine that today you are a small scale one-shop electrical shops or one-shop cafe. We basically analyze the business that they do and basically letting them about 30 slides for each merchant to analyze their business. So example there, they will be able to see their sales trend. They will know that what time their shop is full, what time is empty. So basically the heat map. So basically taking a lot of things that what big companies do or what big e-commerce is doing and translating into everyone in a small SMEs. Yeah, I saw Samantha. Thanks a lot for the support as well with Subway. Yeah, so I think as we go on this, is think of it like, let's say example demographics. So every merchant will know what age group it is, which age group is spending more. So I think like example, you know that the male 41 to 50 is spending 200 ringgit versus female 31 to 40 is spending how much, and which group is returning a lot more, which group has a lot more new customers. If you have 5 outlets, what's the review ratings at each outlet? So today you know that whether your staff at this outlet is serving the customer well or not. Do you whether you know which offer is getting the right offers? How are you benchmarking against other, let's say, cafes in the same locality as you or the same category as you? So basically doing things that is pretty common in most e-commerce platform or most large company. But today the small company would not be able to do this. So basically the way we do is leverage on this thing and basically build on it. So it's an in-house build.
You are saying as a small guy, I can actually go to Fave, register it for free. That's the first thing that caught my attention.
Yeah, so basically with your transaction on Fave, it will also auto-generate it.
And then it will ready in the 30 slide. Will it be emailed to me? You know, so all the analytics, or I have to log on to the back end to actually see all this?
Both. You can do that.
So the gist of it is right, Adrian. So the SME, a micro, a small a seller, if you want to go into e-commerce, for example, you participate a platform like Fave or other platform players, don't just ask about how much it's going to cost me, what is the transaction cost. Ask them how.
But they are cost sensitive. Most of them, they are cost sensitive.
But then you have to ask things like this: How is this platform going to help me to analyze? For example, if I participate in let's say this Fave or whoever, whichever platform, then ask them how am I going to know who visited my store, my e-store, and then when they visit me, when should I do the promotion, things like that you should ask. Therefore, the answer to your question, you don't have to arm yourself with a lot of technology, but leverage on the partners that you have. Most importantly is the platform players.
Yeah, I think that's can't agree more. And Chen, I just want to find out also what is the one thing right inside Fave. If I were to sign up now, then I can straight away see benefit one. Just like what Mr. Lim has quoted an example. He think that if you have the customer data, you can create a Facebook custom audience, and then retarget the traffic back to your own site. Probably this is very applicable for a lot of SME that has already a customer base, be it a few hundred or few thousand. How about those merchants that's onboarding to Fave? How can I straight benefit from the tools that you are providing? Give me one.
So example, one straightforward is, let's say right now, right? Within in 2 minutes time, you can already accepting credit card payments from anyone, right? So you can go to Fave app, download, and basically create it. In 1-2 minutes, there will be a QR code generated, and basically anyone can start paying you. So basically enabling a lot of those basic things that basically previously you may have to go apply for credit card terminal that take 1 week, 2 weeks to get it. And basically credit card fee for us is 1%. I know that in a big chain, maybe Senheng you get it, yes, for any size of business. I know that let's say like big size business, $1 billion business, you will be able to get it at 1% also. But today, if you run small cafe, small retail, you're not going to get 1%. So I think that's what we offer, flat pricing. Whether you are a $1 billion business or you are 10,000 ringgit business, you can process across the same price. So I think a lot of it is that, let's say Fave as well, basically it's a cashback back to your own store. So today, in the traditional world, to issue cashback back to your own store, you need to basically give people a paper voucher or design a card for your shop or design an app, which all cost money and time. So I think basically today, within the same thing in the Fave app, you can set the cashback, let's say 10% back to use at your own store. In 2 minutes later, someone will earn it already. So I think it's
Chen, I want to check with you, right? Is Senheng on Fave yet?
not yet, but we really have
how come?
To get on board.
Boss, what Fave have to do to actually get you on board?
Yeah, maybe I should ask the question first.
It's a chance to find out customer need, right?
Yeah, they're definitely happy to explore. I think we have a lot of electronics company. I shall not name here, but electric companies, whether in Malaysia, Singapore, are with us, and definitely looking forward to see how we can complement with Senheng. Of course, they are one of the most advanced at building a lot of aspects already. But I think we're happy to see what we can cross sharing.
Later, you have to actually contact Boss Lim, huh? Okay, Mr. Song, I want to ask you, right? Throughout your work experience, you have dealt with a lot of SME. A lot of them are traditional business, right? And from your point of view, normally why they actually fail in adopting e-commerce, now O2O? What are the mistakes they can avoid so that they can significantly improve the success rate, when they apply this to their business? What's your view on this one?
It's through my observations when I look at a lot of people come on board to go to e-commerce, and from MDEC we have a lot of programs, as I said, to get people on board. But you look at the funnel, right? You look at the funnel. There's a lot of people come on board to e-commerce, but the real success rate is really percentage-wise is very low. Therefore, you see that the number of success story out there is not that much. And one of the main reasons I believe is the founder themselves. If you go back to the previous panelists, and you notice, the founder or the owner of that particular organization is very critical. And you see Mr. Lim as well. You see Mr. Lim is so, even though he's in terms of his biological age, maybe quite senior, but then his digital hungry for digital knowledge is there. So that is
he attended the session since morning till now just to learn.
So
this one I really admire a lot. I admire.
Yes, free of charge,
So I believe the number one prerequisite to be successful in e-commerce, especially when you are coming from the traditional business, is your entrepreneurship spirit. Because a lot of people, when they come on board to e-commerce, they are already successful offline, meaning it's a traditional business, but they come online and they not as serious that want to make it successful. And they always want to compromise, meaning is when the situations for example, online and offline, they have to decide, well, if I go online full swing, I have to display all my price and all that, then my offline will cannibalize. They have all these considerations. When they try to juggle, little that they know, by the time they realize it, somebody else cannibalize them. So I think the entrepreneurship spirit is very critical. They have to keep on trying and keep on pivoting until they are successful. That is number one. Second thing is I think the ecosystem is very critical. We always want to emphasize about ecosystem. Because when you come into e-commerce, it's not you alone. There will be a lot of service provider and a lot of friends and from other industry, they're going to help you. So you always need to be inside this ecosystem. And that is where in MDEC, we have this Go e-commerce community where we encourage the different players to interact with each other and learn from each other. So therefore, what we are aim to do is from this funnel, which is a very narrow output, we try to broaden this so that more people will be successful. So I think the two very important things to summarize it is the entrepreneurial spirits and the ecosystem. So you need to get into that and learn from each other, just like you attending this webinar, and you learn from all these different people, and then you must keep on trying and pivoting. That's how I see it.
Yeah, on this self-learning part, I can't agree more. This is very, very true, right? So I think the leadership of the business itself, when it comes to adopting something new, they have to take the lead. If not, then the whole company might be finding a hard time to follow. They are like a locomotive, they're heading the thing. Okay, I think I have a last question for Chen Chow and also Mr. Lim before I end this and see whether we have some Q&A to take. We are running out of time.
Actually, Adrian, if you could wrap up really quick. We're actually running out of a little bit of time.
This is critical one, okay? So this is what I personally want to find out from Chen Chow and Mr. Lim as well. Chen Chow, the recent MCO and Mr. Lim, for you both, start with Chen Chow first. The recent MCO, how does it actually affect your business? I want to know how you actually turn it around and what is the key lesson or painful lesson that you have learned?
Yeah, so I think like on March 18, when MCO happened, on that day, our business dropped by 90%. So I think that
90%.
was 90% on that day, right? So I think it's a big hit. And I think what we do is that I think it turned on eventually into the opportunities, right? So I think one is that I think what we found during the MCO period, the number of businesses, the large businesses that came on board during MCO was significant, right? Whether Think Typo, DGIF, and all those businesses that back then we may not think of would come into us, actually came on board during MCO. So that was actually opened up a lot of large scale businesses coming on. I think Tony Romas, MFM, and all those things came on board, right? I think so that was during the lockdown period, and that basically opened up a new pool to build, right? So I think that's one. And the second is also if it takes all of us to now look into the business instead of from a weekly basis to daily and hourly basis, right? To analyze the trend. And I think it also give us opportunity to work closely with MDEC, MOF, and all the agencies, and work closely with the merchants, right? So I was in chat group with the restaurant owners and all those things, constantly talking about it, bringing their voice to chamber commerce, bringing their voice to governments, and I think engaging across and really understanding it. And then we launched a Fave as well at that time, where we basically during March 18 to end of May, we zeroized our margin for e-cards. And we said that we will pay the businesses before customer walk into their shop. So imagine you bought on March 19 the gift cards for, let's say, Subway. You will actually pay Subway immediately. And customer has 6 months to come back. So basically enabling the cash flow. Maybe Subway at that size, they may not need that, but for every normal cafes and everything that enable cash flow to run, we actually work with Facebook, Instagram, and a bunch of players. And eventually, I think a few weeks ago, we announced a partnership and investment from Panellists. So I think that was another opportunity to open up. Panellists is the largest credit card terminal in India. They process $30 billion business. And I think that enabled us to go around across. So I think basically something in the next few days, we'll be actually be able to offer credit card terminal as well to all the Fave merchants as well in Malaysia. So I think that would be another aspect of driving. So I think a lot of time opportunities and threats will all come together. I think a lot of them is zoom out. And I think really appreciate a lot of the support from various people. And I think everyone put their heads together.
Well, great learning. How about you, Mr. Lim, to wrap this up? Your key learning during the MCO, even for a seasoned and successful entrepreneur like you, what's your takeaway?
During MCO, all our stores forced to close, right? So we managed to open up some new channel. Of course, first is online. We pay a lot of attention online. And the second one is putting more headcount into our call centers. Right? And the third one is the telemarketing apps. We transform all 1,900 employees to become a telemarketeers. And finally is the Senheng apps. So with these new 4 channels, we are able to recover 65% of the business. So there's about 45 to 50 millions a month with these new channels, what we so-called.
So even if your shop closed, by refocusing on these 4, you managed to cover back 55 to 65% of your business.
Yes, it's about 45 to 50 millions a month. So
but does it mean that you don't need to have so many stores?
In actuality, yes, we can reduce the number of stores with this new normal, yes. So we are cutting down.
Okay, that's some not so good news for the landlord already, right?
we can reduce a lot of costs.
Yeah. I think, Lauren, I think we're running out of time, right? Do we have still time for Q&A? If no, I think probably we call it an end here.
We can do one question. So any question of your choice, basically. Just one.
One question.
Yes.
Let me see. Okay. Okay, let me pick this one. Okay, this is for all the panelists. I say, from one of the anonymous attendee one. He say, I run a traditional manufacturer selling to wholesale and retailer. So it's a B2B business and they are manufacturer. Then he said, like Mr. Song say, we are doing okay offline and we want to go online. I think probably he referred to direct to consumers model. Then he said, should we explore online platform like Fave or should we build our own online platform like Senheng? Either one, and what considerations should I contemplate? Only one question we pick up due to running out of time. Mr. Song, go to you first.
Very good questions. Should I build my own website or should I participate in marketplace? What do you call it? Marketplace.
Marketplace.
Yeah. So my thinking is that generally you should try the marketplace first. Why? Because I think there are already buyers there. So you learn all all you can with that marketplace. And after that, when you have the what you call experience of doing it online, then you start to build your own website. Because when you build your own website or e-commerce store, you need to have more than just just build a site, because you have to think about the payment, you have to think about all the, especially marketing. You need a lot of marketing dollars to drive traffic to your website. So generally speaking, if you do not know what to do, start with the e-marketplace first. Then after that, you have more experience, build your own website. Why you have to build your own website? Because ultimately you want to control your customers' experience. You can only do it, customize that, if you have your own website. But before you reach that particular state, participate in the marketplace is the easiest to get online. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay, cool. So for Mr. Song, marketplace first, then only think about build your own site if you have not started. Mr. Lim, what about you?
For me, I rather suggest they must build their own official site.
Oh,
with their products.
The other way around. Oh.
Yes, with their products, they can create a lot of contents. From the contents, they can create their own fans, and from there they can collect their database. And in the long run, they can promote in terms of brands, in terms of conversion, everything within their hand. Marketplace is oversaturated. Nobody can notice them at all.
Mr. Lim, I noticed I cannot find Senheng on Shopee one, and you are only available on Lazada.
No, this one cannot discuss openly.
Cannot discuss openly. So we jump over to Chen Chow. Chen Chow, what's your take on this one?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it, and maybe I'll ask everyone to think about it, is that think of it whether your online strategy is going to be a differentiator for you. Is it going to be an enabler or is it going to be a utility? Right? So if you think that online is going to be a differentiator, which clearly Senheng is doing that, right? You're going to invest people, marketing, technology, attention span to it. Yes, I think that then go all out to it. And having said that, I would say that unless you have a lot of capable people and knowing how, I think you should do what Mr. Song said, to go learn, pay the tuition fee in a cheaper way, to learn from the marketplace and everything before you go in on it. So I think that's a differentiator. Of course, there's also another one. I go flip the other way. Utility. Today, you have small team. You don't have much money to invest. You don't know how, right? And a lot of time, if you don't know anything and not going to invest and you build yourself, likelihood going to turn to be failing. Then in that way, working with marketplace will be the best to learn. And then as you go through that, you see whether you want to invest or not. And if you want to invest, you can do blended mode, where basically you have a marketplace to continue to building for you, and then you gradually build on yourself, test it, and see whether it can work or not, right? Because it's not going to be easy, right? Getting an app to download, there's cost. And people will uninstall the app if people stop using it, right? And so there are many aspects on it. I think that would be, and I think of course there's a middle ground where you play as enabler, where you basically play on both, right? And then when you say both, whether you play on a strategy of whether you choose one major platform versus going across. There's pros and cons, right? Whether you take Lazada and Shopee, right? One or the two, Grab, Foodpanda, right? Or whether e-wallet's the same thing, right? So we go to one, you get maybe special treatment, but you may only leverage on one. The other one is you go across, maybe you don't have the special treatment, right? So I think basically there's no right or wrong. I think in the end, what's the strategy and how do you look at it? But I think in any case, digital online will be growing. I think is with this COVID is a expectation, is the norm, no longer the additional, right? So now is how do you going to win in this, and what are you going to do to win in this? Yeah, with that, all the best and thanks a lot, everyone.
Cool. Senheng, I would like to put it this way, if I want to thinking of building my own loyalty app, I should just onboard on Fave first, right? So there's always a cheaper alternative. And again, let's wrap it out here. We will never have enough time with the established panelists here. I want to thank Mr. Song, Chen, Chow, and Mr. Lim, right, for all the great insight and sharing. And also, Rorin for hosting as the MC, right, for throughout the whole day for this event. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Adrian. Of course, a bigger shout out and a bigger thank you to MDEC for organizing the SME Digital Summit 2020. Adrian, Mr. Song, Chen Chow, Mr. Lim, thank you so much for joining us here. I hope you guys had fun hanging out together for our All Guys Power Group. To everyone else who's watching, let's give them a virtual round of applause. Thank you, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks,
Okay,
everyone.
bye.
Bye.